Hey, first grade friends, you have made it to the end of your narrative. It is time to wrap up this narrative where we tell the story of how you, as a mouse, figured out a clever way to get the bell around the cat's neck. We want to have a signal or a sign that the cat is walking around, and the bell is what's going to do it. So we started first by drawing all of our pictures of our beginning, middle, and end. Then yesterday we wrote our middle. Today we're going to start writing our end, but every good writer is going to make sure that before they write their ending, you go back and reread your story. It's just like telling your story across your fingers every time. So let's reread what we have. Let's start at the beginning. Here we go. One day, I waited for the cat to fall asleep. It was time to bell the cat. That was my beginning. Which part am I on now, friends? If you said the middle, kiss your brain. Next, I jumped quietly, there I am, on the trampoline and landed on her back. Well, now I need to tell what happened at the end. And when I tell what happened at the end, I want to make sure my reader knows this is the end, so they've got to have some type of temporal word as a clue. I might say last. What's another temporal word that friends have used before at their ending? If you said finally, oh, I love finally. I use finally all the time. Final, the root word final means end. Finally means at the end. You could also just say at the end. That gives your reader a hint that, hey, we're just about to wrap this up. This is the last thing that happens in the story, just so you know. That way they don't think you're going to keep going and going. I'm going to go with finally. And after I write the word finally, I want to tell what happened in the story. I think I want to say finally, I carefully wrapped the bell around the cat's neck. Okay. Finally, let's do that. Finally, I put the bell around the cat's neck. Let's do that. Okay, I'm planning out my sentence. Finally, notice how I say my sentence out loud first. That's going to help me, so that way when I start writing, I don't get to the middle of my sentence and go, what was I writing? I've already practiced it. Finally, I put... Actually, no, I like wrapped better. Wrapped is better because I didn't just plop it. I had to swing it around. We wrapped. When you wrap something, you swing it around. I wrapped. That's a longer word, so I'm giving more space. Finally, I wrapped the bell around, let's just say, her neck. Okay, here we go. Finally. All right, this is the first letter in my sentence. Is it uppercase or lowercase for that first letter? If you said uppercase F, kiss your brain. We always capitalize the first letter in our sentence. Finally, I wrapped. Now, friends, you're probably going to start writing the letter R. You're not going to believe this, but this is one of those words that uses the ghost digraph WR. You wouldn't know that just by stretching out the sounds you hear. That's okay. This is one of those words where you just have to know it, and that happens sometimes. So if you wrote the letter R, nobody's going to be mad at you, okay? Oh, wrapped. That already happened. So I have to write my root word wrap first. Wrap, a, wrap, p. Okay, wrapped. Oh, it already happened. So I know that I want to do the word wrap plus suffix ed. Suffix ed helps us say that something already happened. But wait a minute. I know there's some rules about adding suffixes. I know that if my root word ends in a vowel and a consonant, and I'm adding a vowel suffix or a suffix that starts with a vowel, I have to, anybody remember, double that final consonant. So it's not going to be one P, it's going to be two P's before I can add my vowel suffix ed. Finally, I wrapped. Check that out, friends. You just used everything you learned in phonics to write that word like a professional. Next, oh, I'm sorry. Finally, I wrapped the bell. T-H-E, the bell, bell. L, but two L's because the floss rule tells me to double my F, L, S, or Z after a short vowel. Around her neck. Like elephant. That's a short vowel, and I hear the k sound at the end, so it must be digraph CK. Finally, I wrapped the bell around her neck. I think I'm going to then say, I want to show what I'm feeling now. I told what happened, now I want to tell them what I feel. What a relief! Exclamation point. What? Notice my uppercase W, it's the beginning of a new sentence. A relief. Perfect. Notice my digraph IE here in relief is saying E like how shield has IE, okay? Friends, I just wrote my entire narrative, so now I'm ready to go back and reread the whole thing to make sure it sounds right and makes sense. And we have to be sure it actually answers our prompt. And our prompt said, be sure your narrative has a clear beginning, middle, and end. Let's make sure we do. One day, oh, this must be the beginning. I waited for the cat to fall asleep. It was time to bell the cat. Next, oh, that word tells your reader, oh, must be the middle. Next, I jumped quietly on the trampoline and landed on her back. Whoop. Finally, I wrapped the bell around her neck. What a relief! So now, friends, your job is to finish writing your ending and then use your writing checklist to check your work. And a lot of friends are getting still kind of stuck here where they're mixing up those uppercase letters wherever they feel like it. Make sure you only use your capital or uppercase letters at the beginning of your sentence or at the beginning of someone's name. So go ahead, friends, and start writing your ending.